Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back with your daily crypto news and analysis. And today we're going to be talking about Ripple and XRP, so let's just dive in. And let's start off with this tweet here from Ripple themselves. This goes back a few days ago, but it is still something to really kind of consider and look at. So when we really kind of look at this, they're more so kind of talking about crypto in the business area, how financial institutions and businesses themselves are essentially adopting crypto, and how the entire world of finance is being disrupted. Now, I thought that this was an incredible sort of breakdown on what Ripple's focus right now really is. Remember, they are centered on B2B, the business transactional area. They're focused on SMEs. They are focused on the major banks, financial institutions, the big money use cases. And we just hear from Ripple, time to transform finance. Crypto means business. It's time to build a more efficient, dynamic, and transparent financial system. This new system is coming. You guys can definitely see, you can watch everything unfolding, especially from the IMF, the BIS, etc. We do see Ripple's crypto solutions empower innovative finance leaders to drive business advantage from crypto today. Now, the very interesting thing about this is that we do see a few breakdowns from them. First off, it's modernize and streamline payments. Now, if you actually click here and look at this and really kind of see what they are doing here, it's more so around lightning fast rails to bring payments up to speed, reduce intermediaries, and improve capital flows. Now, obviously, when you go and look at the use cases here, this is all centered on XRP. You see cross-border payments, you see payroll, domestic consumer payments, micropayments, acceptance and issuance of crypto payments as well. And then, of course, you do see the benefits over here. No pre-funding required with Ripple Solution. Of course, this is through XRP, which you'll love to see. And then all of the rest here are through, again, treasury management. We do see make assets more agile. A lot of this is centered on tokenization, which, yes, we will be talking about that in a second, because obviously they are focused on the big use case areas here as well from tokenization, like real estate, which is a $300+ trillion market. And then we also do see a few other ones down here in terms of, customer engagement, and then also offer new financial services as well. And they do have a ton of use cases within this. And we do see including settlement and clearing. Very interesting. And then if we do see down here, we could see the cross-border payments, crypto liquidity, and CBDC solutions that they are really kind of touting and really kind of advertising to these major financial institutions, businesses, governments, and even more. And then down here we have a video, of course, from Brad Garlinghouse. Listen closely to this because I thought that this was great. This is talking about, removing frictions for institutions. I'm sure that you guys probably seen this video, but listen closely.
Crypto is helping transform finance businesses today.
Let me just try to turn that down because that was a little loud. I don't know if I can. I could actually turn it down from inside the app. It's all good, guys.
Crypto is helping transform finance businesses today in a few different ways. And I think one of the challenges for the industry has been to focus on solving real problems for real customers. And Ripple, obviously, from its earliest days, focused on the problem around cross-border payments. That's a point of a lot of friction as measured by speed and cost. And by focusing there, we've been able to have a big impact on that, relatively small piece. But I think over the next years, you're going to see many financial transactions where a middleman sits, a middle transaction, an intermediary. Those will get removed, and we'll use blockchain and other digital asset type technologies to remove that friction. And I think all of society will benefit from improving the efficiency of those systems. I think you'll see that. Certainly, you've seen it in securities settlement as an opportunity. The financial transactions around bonds, around derivatives. A lot of these things take a while to settle, and the friction associated actually holds back the industry. Insurance is an industry I think you're going to see touched. Trade finance is an industry that really Ripple, some of our customers have invited us to participate in. And you've seen experimentation around identity in real estate and title management. And these are all examples where I think it's so hard to predict where this will go, in the same way that 25 years ago, when I first got involved in the Internet of Information, I never could have predicted on my smartphone I'd press a button and I'd have a car picking me up minutes later. I think this will permeate lots of different parts of our society.
And I love to see the, comparison to Uber here, because At first, Uber was getting hammered with lawsuits. They were going through a ton of issues. And what ultimately happened after that is them blossoming into a giant of a company. I believe that that's what's going to happen with Ripple as well. I mean, right now we are seeing a lot of regulatory concerns, but as you guys do hear him saying, like, listen, at the end of the day, every single major financial transaction that is, focused on a transactional process where you have an intermediary, that's going to be fully disrupted. And there's a ton of money within this. I'm very excited about this. And I do also want to talk to you guys a little bit about what is also happening behind the scenes with Ripple in this area. More so centered around financial institutions. And we do see Ripple as a company. We have grown gangbusters over the last 2 years. We have signed hundreds of new contracts with financial institutions globally. And of course, this is from Brad Garlinghouse. Listen closely to this. Shout out to Cowboy Crypto 313 for this.
The thing to understand is today, when the SEC sued Ripple, basically every exchange in the United States either halted trading of XRP or delisted XRP. So for all intents and purposes, XRP does not have liquidity in the United States. Ripple as a company, we have grown gangbusters over the last 2 years, but we've signed hundreds of new contracts with financial institutions globally. And, very, very few here in the United States, because in the United States, most financial institutions will say, hey, let's wait and see what happens here. So when people ask me, what happens if we lose? Like, I'm already operating as if I lost, right? The XRP doesn't trade in the United States. It can't get worse, right? So, I mean, look, it is kind of funny. It's also like what the problem is with, having a regulator who, in this case, they're kind of being a bully. And they're the reason why they're able to get a lot of settlements is because people don't have the financial resources, the commitment to really fight it. And would we be in a better position now had we tried, been more flexible in settling way back when? Maybe, but the whole industry would be in a worse place.
And I love to hear them, talk about how they could have taken the settlement. They got offered a settlement. If you guys didn't know this. They were actually offered a settlement early on in the days of the lawsuits. I'm actually very happy that they did not take that, because it would have really kind of gave the SEC an upper hand over the entire industry, and ultimately we don't know what would have blossomed out of that. We could have easily have had this entire market basically killed, stifled. We don't know, but the good thing is that we don't need to know, because Ripple's at bat for us. They are continuously fighting the good fight. We have a ton of community members coming out and helping us really kind of not only try to get this settlement, but also try to get a clear win, which I think is going to be the best case possible. But I love to also hear him say, like, this can't get much worse. I mean, XRP is not trading in the United States technically. I mean, it is still on MEXC, as well as it's on, I think, it's on Uphold, we know that, but it's also on a few other exchanges. But yeah, we definitely are focused on some big areas. Also, by the way, if you guys do want to participate, I forgot to mention this, but I am doing a $9,000 plus giveaway, including QNT and XRP. If you guys do want to go check that out, I'll leave a link down in the comments below, as well as in the description below. It is through MEXC. If you guys don't know, I have moved away from Uphold exclusively to MEXC to actually purchase all my XRP, my QNT, my HBAR, my Casper, all of that, because it is instantly withdrawable. So definitely check that out if you guys are interested. But also, we do see over here from Anderson, Ripple's secret sauce is and will always be XRP. With XRP, they have instant settlement. Liquidity is concentrated if you only need to make one market against XRP for every currency. XRP is jurisdictionless, thus no need to adhere to many or as many laws in other. And here we have today, this is this fragmented system, and then we do see XRP as a bridge currency, opening the entire system. This is the end goal here. This is the end game from Ripple. I will say this. One thing that gets me very excited about this is we do see Ripple continuously expanding. Like they said, they added over 100 plus major names to their, list. Again, all of these major individuals will have exposure to XRP at some point in time. I believe that at one point, all of them will be utilizing XRP as a bridge currency. When you see jurisdictions look at the geopolitical tensions surrounding the use of USD in global trade, the Fed can freeze USD in any other central bank at any time. Since Ripple is holding a huge amount of total XRP supply, they can incentivize usage of on-demand liquidity by covering the difference in an on-demand liquidity transfer with XRP, Bob Way XRP chat, thus making illiquid corridors cheaper than today. So if a mega bank uses tokenized fiat, banks will still need to keep a range of currencies in nostro vostro. Liquidity will be fractionalized. It most definitely won't be jurisdictionless. Imagine sanctioned power of a CBDC. They won't have a huge war chest of a crypto where they can incentivize usage by covering the difference in a transaction. So I definitely see a place for XRP in the world. And yeah, listen, is XRP going to be the world bridge currency? We don't know. We don't know. Anything can happen. I know that a lot of people are going to say, dude, you don't know. Like, that's so idiotic of you. Like, listen. No one knows what's the next move around Ripple with XRP. All we need to know is that we are positioned here in XRP. We understand the technology. We understand how large of a use case this is. And we know the value proposition here. So why not just hodl our XRP until the horizon is upon us? We are done with this, lawsuit. And we could really kind of see the true value of XRP being unlocked and the true potential of it being unleashed. That's what I'm looking forward to. And also, I do want to share with you guys real quick this video as well. So this is from Thinking Crypto 1. Shout out to Riz XRP for this as well. We do see institutions forcing regulatory clarity. Then we'll see that waterfall of demand come, and listen closely to this.
In addition to BNY Mellon, I just tweeted about it earlier today. You look back at the past 2 to 3 months, we had BlackRock enter the market. You had news of Charles Schwab, Citadel, and Fidelity they're working on a crypto exchange. NASDAQ also came out and said they're launching crypto custody. It's amazing what's happening. I got into the market in 2016, and I couldn't even imagine these big names getting into the asset class. What are your thoughts seeing it? And I know you're talking to some of these folks, and the Cowens of the world and so forth. What are your thoughts on the recent surge of these institutional investors coming in?
Well, I would say a few things. It's not surprising because we're talking to these folks and or their peers on a daily basis, and we're seeing the migrations that large asset managers are making in the space. I think what's critical is that you actually are seeing some of these household names put their foot down and say we are building out products and services. You've got the BlackRocks, you've got the Wisdom Trees, and others who are just massive asset managers who are moving deliberately into the space, and it can only be credentializing. I think it's going to have a very positive impact, frankly, on the regulators, because those organizations have the ear of the regulators, and they're going to force some regulation to come through, which I think is going to be great. I think one of the biggest impediments right now to growth in this industry is the lack of regulatory clarity. And we've made great strides, I will say, if I think back over the last 6 to 12 months, and when I look forward, not only here in the US, but the G20 Financial Stability Board, you've got the EU initiatives around MiCA, you've seen legislation being introduced in Ukraine, South Korea, Bahrain, Brazil, all within the last couple of months. And so I think we're getting consistent progress. Can't happen fast enough as far as I'm concerned, but it's going to be, I think, really helpful not only for sell-side firms like ours to understand what the rules of the road are, but it's also going to remove one of the biggest obstacles for institutions to come and invest into the space. And that's really when you're going to see this waterfall of demand come.
And I completely agree with this as well. Also, if you didn't know who this was, this is Jack McDonald from the CEO of Polysign and also Standard Custody. Yesterday, we just talked about Polysign in a video and how large of a company that actually is, especially for XRP. I highly advise you all to go check out Polysign. If you haven't done your research on Polysign yet, there's not a ton of information, but it is centered around institutional grade custody, and it's very interesting because there's direct connections to Ripple with XRP as well there. And I do agree with this statement. I think that there's going to be a massive amount of demand soon. And I think that regulatory clarity will be 100% forced. The reason why I say that is because I think that right now, as we look at some of these major asset managers, we look at these huge institutions, and ultimately you look at all of these major companies and businesses that do want crypto, they want it right now. They want it bad. They want to be a part of, this entire digital revolution, and you honestly believe that they're going to miss out? At the end of the day, regulatory clarity for this entire space will be all at once. It will happen so fast, and when that does happen, everything will move extremely quick. A massive amount of demand will come in. And I think that Swift really kind of gave us a little bit of an insight on this. And we do see here, shout out to Kevin Cage, we do see, I understand feeling bearish about this year and the global macroeconomic environment, but I'm very bullish this decade for the crypto asset class. A few years ago, we didn't even have a DeFi infrastructure and billions in TVL. Imagine 2027, we do see Swift completes tokenized asset experiments. This goes back to October 4th. We do see relative to cryptocurrencies and stablecoins, the current market capitalization of tokenized assets is small, but momentum for these digital assets is expected to accelerate rapidly in the coming years. By some estimates, volumes could reach some $24 trillion by 2027. I would argue that by the next major bull cycle, we will most likely top out around $10 to $15 trillion in market cap. And that's just the starting point, honestly. You got to remember that we're still very, very early on in the race. We have a long way to go, and I believe that crypto will be a $100 trillion market cap asset class eventually. It's going to take some time, but I want you guys to understand the volume, the value, and the overall value proposition behind this technology and these huge innovations that we are seeing in crypto growing day in and day out. And we also do see, note the pick above is just an estimate of volume for tokenization. The higher the volume and liquidity, the better for the future of tokenization and the hundreds of new use cases that come with it. This is why we go back to the beginning of this video where we were looking at improving treasury management, making assets more agile, and then also offering new financial services with crypto. And you can see some of these major use cases here in terms of trading, asset tokenization, all that kind of stuff. You can definitely look at a little bit more around tokenization if you look at this. There's some custom content here that you could request if you want to, but all of this is going to be fully disruptive. Stablecoins, central bank digital currencies, carbon credits, stocks, real estate, gold, art, trading cards, music, and movies, ticketing, everything will fully be disrupted. And this is, in the hundreds and, possibly even quadrillions of dollars at the end of the day, especially if we disrupt like the FX market, which is $6.6 trillion per day. I mean, there's so much that you can really kind of look at here, and it's getting very interesting very fast. And I do think that everyone is in a major rush to get into crypto. I think that all of these major names are kind of forcefully jumping into crypto, and I think that's for good measure. I think that once we do see regulations get ushered in, I've always said it's a massive obstacle around crypto adoption. We are going to see trillions on top of trillions pour into crypto. So with that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe to notifications on because of more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord down in the description below. As always, up to you all. Have a beautiful day, beautiful night, wherever you guys are in this beautiful world. This has been Nick. Peace out, guys.